Well, welcome everybody. Episode 34 of Playing with Perspective, the suspended animation podcast. So welcome everybody who's joining us live via our Facebook page, Suspended Animation, obviously on Facebook. And we've got a great show for you today and a very, very interesting topic that is quite current to what we're doing right now. And it's all about virtual networking. So I've got a lovely guest by the name of Terilee Harrison, and she is the queen of virtual networking. So if anybody doesn't know about Terilee is a virtual networking expert / trainer, international speaker, entrepreneur, and the author of 10 books. Wow, Terilee, where do you find the time? Oh. She resides in Singapore, where she spends her days connecting online with extraordinary humans around the world, helping them to create powerful business networks so they can achieve success in business and life. A fun fact about Terilee, she has her own Supergirl cape and she's not afraid to wear it. And I can see it there in the background.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to be chatting about virtual networking and how we can utilize it best to get results. So welcome, Terilee.
Oh, Darren, thanks so much for having me here on your podcast. It means so much to me. I'm so excited to chat with you today and to maybe meet your listeners. I don't know, on the live, you never know, right?
Absolutely. And I must comment you on your beautiful denim jacket.
Hey, we're twins today, everybody.
Twins today. I don't have the sequence. And the
nor should you, but it's okay. I'll wear them all for us, yeah.
Fantastic. But before we jump in, Terilee, tell us a bit more about you.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think you can tell if you hear that I'm from Singapore, you can tell I'm not necessarily Singaporean. So we've been here in Singapore for 3 years. We came from the Southern California in the United States. We love living abroad and all that comes with it. So, and then I don't have spare time anymore and I can't write books anymore, but so that may be over because I'm too busy networking online now, Darren. I'm telling you.
That's right. No time.
No time.
I'm very jealous because you got all the best food in Singapore. I love Malaysian, Singaporean, Indonesian style food.
It's so amazing. And I have to say, if you have to be, staying at home right now, this is like one of probably the best places in the world to be. We're not suffering. We're hanging in there. We're doing just fine. Good. And we just order our food online and have it delivered.
Everybody delivers probably over there, don't they?
Oh, yeah. Everybody.
Fantastic. But in terms of what we're going to chat about today, obviously we're going to get out of the real world and we're going to go into the virtual world.
Yep, let's do it.
New, fascinating world that's been able to be accessed with technology and products like Zoom and things like that. So tell us more about what actually is virtual networking and how does it work?
Do you know, Darren, that you can take the same networking that you did face-to-face, whether that's local in your community and you get up in the morning, you get dressed, you go to the breakfast, you take your business cards, you drive in your car. You can do those very same things online. It's amazing how easily that it all transfers over. And the thing about this is I started actually, I don't know if you know this, I started doing virtual networking when I still had brown hair. Ooh, I've been doing this for a while. I used to have hair the color of yours, actually. Yes. And so we dived into this 5 years ago, a little before its time, but we came back to it about 18 months ago. And so when this happened, we were in that space. We were prepared. Everybody like made a shift and went online. But where I believe that I had all the like foundational stuff, I think the other people were scrambling they were able to go to online, but I think they probably had to put lots of things together. And so it's a thrill to be able to be in this space now. And when people have questions, be able to answer them. But the truth is so many people prior to this said, I don't like to be on screen. Look at us. We're having a great time.
We're having a ball.
But they didn't like to be on screen. They like their face-to-face. And what they have found is it's not as bad as they thought, right? And what it opens up to us is if we have a borderless business, it opens up the world to us should we choose, right?
Absolutely.
So it doesn't have to be that we're just doing business, going to our local chamber of commerce, our local networking meeting down the street. It happens to be that we can open up regional, national, and international networking and connections. And you know what? It is a beautiful, fun thing.
It is a fun thing. And what I love about virtual networking is that it's absolutely borderless, as you say, it's global.
Yes.
And you meet people from all over the world doing the most fascinating things.
Yes.
And the internet is at scale. We can connect so much faster using this technology, and we can fast track our journey as well. So, I mean, I think virtual networking is incredible.
It's incredible. And if you imagine someone used the phrase with me one time, this is like a year ago, but they talked about bending time. Like last evening, I was meeting with some ladies from the UK and Scotland, right?
Wow, yeah.
I'm talking to you now. I was just talking to South Africa, right? And like there'd be no way. And think about how whenever you go out networking, the time it takes you to get there, like hello, we're either on our phone or on our computer, and we're able to do so much more. And it's amazing. It's an amazing gift that I think that we've, inside of this tragedy, that we've been given to be for other people other than me and maybe you, to be able to take a look at this for the gift that it really is and what it can do for our business.
Indeed. And you know what I love as well is that with virtual technology and with technology now, you can save the chat. You can have a list of every single person that attended the meeting. Whereas if you did this face-to-face, you'd have to be scrambling around, swapping business cards, making sure you ticked everybody off before you left. I mean, this is so much more efficient. And then you jump on LinkedIn, connect with them on Facebook, connect with them, start those dialogues, and you haven't left your room.
I know. It's just, I don't know. So for those who are still skeptical, I wish that you could tell Darren and I why, because we would love to chat with you. But if you are, because I could go back into my LinkedIn and I asked a question, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, maybe 8 weeks ago. And I said, what do you prefer, face-to-face or virtual? And they all were like, face-to-face, face-to-face, face-to-face. I'd like to go back now and share that and re-ask, right?
I think you should. If you put that on there, say virtual.
I think I should. And it's just I don't know. I just think every day how grateful I am to have been in this space and waiting, if you will, for this, because there's lots of people who need help. We've learned to navigate that, take my business cards, go out. This is what I do. The online networking space is a little different. So being able to help people get a leg up, if you will, into what the best strategies are, it's amazing and helpful to be here in this spot.
And how did you fall into it in the first place, being you at the forefront of virtual networking? How did that come about?
Well, this is very interesting. 5 years ago when we dabbled, I had a friend who was before his time, and he was just into technology, and he believed in this like 5 years ago. Now, sadly, my friend passed away a year ago, and I just said to the founder of Team Referral Network, I said, James is up there smiling at us, right? Because he knew, he loved it, he knew it. And I found notes from 5 years ago, and everything he talked about, we're doing it all. And it's like, wow. But I have to say, I wouldn't have had a head start if I hadn't moved to Singapore. I was heavily networked in Los Angeles. And when we moved, it took me physically from my people, and took me where I started talking to people more on screen. Gotcha. And it was then that I popped up and around and started looking around a little bit, enough to say, hey, wait a minute. And that's what got me intrigued. And that's what got me going. And so I'm grateful. We moved for my husband's work. And at first I was like, no, I was never kicking and screaming, but I was like, what am I going to do? And you know what? It's been a huge blessing. And I always think, Darren, really, that we are looking for the people that are looking for us. So there's going to be people who meet me or like, I want to network with her. Yep. There's going to be people who see this and go, oh, she is not my gig. And that's okay. And that's okay, right? Because I think there's plenty for everyone. But for those who are like, hey, she seems fun and I'd love to know more, I love to meet everybody. Yeah.
Definitely. And that's actually a really good question. Do you find, obviously, you're in contact with people from all over the world constantly. Do you find that certain cultures or certain countries are leaning towards adopting virtual networking more than others, or do you push back from other countries, or do you
know
find
what?
everybody's the same?
They're all open because right now we have to. It's
Yeah.
how we have to in this moment. I do believe that a huge majority of people will still stay with some face-to-face networking. Like the minute that they can, they're going to go, okay, my group is ready, I'm back, right?
Yeah.
And that's important and that's good. I think some though will say, okay, I've had a taste of this and I'm going to dabble here too. And
Yeah.
some may just completely come over. But I haven't found any countries that are necessarily like, oh, we're not interested. I think that people are really open.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I think I would love to continue both. I'd love to do face-to-face
Correct.
stuff, and I'd love to have my virtual online meetings once a week, once a fortnight. My channel's
Yes.
ready because it just opens you up to the whole world. And as you say,
Yes.
I've been talking to people from the States and Scotland and all over the place, and I'm just having a ball.
I know. It's a great time. It's a great time.
Absolutely.
At least you and I are having fun.
And I'm talking to someone from Singapore right now.
That's right. That's right.
So tell us more about team referral network, and how that works.
I would love to. Thanks for asking. So we are one of those weekly online exclusive referral organizations. We pack your meeting in an hour with like-minded people, driven people from around the world. And again, what separates it is that you can have a regional group, a national group, or an international group. So it's not just your local town or city, right? And I always say we are a gentler, kinder organization. We do a couple things I think that are fun and help bring people into the community. So one is we have a weekly online mixer. It's our global online mixer that anyone can come to. Okay. I do weekly workshops online about growing your network. Anybody can come to. You find out about all these on LinkedIn. Wow. But the hallmark is are those weekly referral chapters, because oh my gosh, Darren, we can go to a mixer one time, but if we don't stay connected and grow referral relationships, it takes a long time to scale, as you said. So it's our relationships that are powerful. Definitely.
And I think that's a good message for everybody, that, you know, networking, whether it's virtual or in the real world, is an exercise that you have to implement and execute. Yes. You cannot just go to the meeting and then think that things are going to happen. You got to work those relationships. You got to follow up. You got to build trust. You got to, over time, you know, you got to do the work. You have to, and it all takes time. You know, and this is a separate podcast episode, but I'm in love with LinkedIn right now. Oh, me too. Oh my gosh. Okay. So for having the business conversations and making the business connections, LinkedIn is such an amazing place to be. You have to work it, just, you know, but just because we add our connections doesn't mean anything. It's the gold in those connections, and it comes from the conversation. Yep. If Darren and I met at a networking meeting, that's right. We had a chat, this came from that, and you don't know until you reach out and to see where is the gold in these connections. That's and right. Some people are going to stay with you for quite a while. Some will be part of your journey for just a little bit, but you have to do the work. And, you have to do that. But Darren and I think it's fun work. Oh, it's the best. It's so much fun. You know, we put our denim jackets on, we have our microphones, we have a chat, we have a laugh. You know, and we're talking to people from around the world, and we're learning constantly. And as you say, you just never know what's around the corner and who that person in front of you knows. That's and right. The opportunities that will bring. You just never know. You don't know. It's fascinating. And that one person like Terilee could be connected to so many people around the world, and that could be a catalyst for you and your business. So networking and virtual networking is incredibly useful and efficient. I'm so glad to chat with you about it. Makes me excited. Now, I'd love to hear about a case study or two. Have you got any absolutely wow case studies, whether it's your own or someone else that met on a virtual meeting and their business just went pow? You know, virtual networking is new, right? Yeah. And so to have amazing, powerful cases, there's a lot of them are still in the works right now. Yep. But I think that what's happened is, and so invite me back, and I'm gonna have
like multiple concrete stories for you of people. But what I'm seeing happen is the powerful partnerships that people are creating with people they would have never met otherwise. So if they had stuck with their face-to-face. And so in a lot of ways, just like many people are just jumping on into the online networking now, in a lot of ways, these things are all in the works right now. And even for myself, okay, I can wholeheartedly tell you this. You want to connecting with the people who share your clients, and it's not competition, is huge, right? So I work with business owners. Darren works with business owners, right? We can share clients. But if I will get even more into this space, and believe it or not, but other people in networking, imagine when I, as a connector, connect with other people in networking who aren't doing exactly what I do. Like right now, we have something that is brewing in the Chicago area, something brewing in the UK, and what we can bring together, it's explosive. And this would not happen if we weren't online. So ask me back and let's talk concrete. Let's get the journey going. But all these things it's like there's a bunch of stuff on the stove and it's cooking right now. It's cooking.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, there you have it. We're going to have you back, don't you worry.
Okay, I'm ready.
Hear more about the results of what's happening right now.
Yes.
Awesome. And I mean, virtual networking is something a little different, and some people do need to get their head around a few things maybe to be able to effectively execute. Yep. Even if it's in terms of video or lighting or mic or sound. Any tips for people who, want to join this virtual networking? Are there any tips that you can give them to how to really position themselves as being a thought leader, how to put their best foot forward when it comes to being on the virtual stage?
Thank you for that question. So one thing that I know is important, it's not just enough to show up at meetings, because the minute that people connect with you, it's not like they're giving your business card. The minute they connect with you, they're hitting your LinkedIn, they're hitting your Facebook, right? And so we do have to, it's like the double whammy, if you will. So Darren's in a perfect position doing some social media and podcasting to be able to help guide you, right? But you want to be someone that when they meet you, that when they take a look, that they like what they see, and that they see that you are active, you're sharing who you are, what you do. And so it's almost like you got to be even more prepared online, but the results and the payoff is totally worth it. I find, and when you are online, don't be afraid to ask for what you need. If you were looking for podcasts, like you want to speak about your subject, ask for it, put it out there. I'm looking to speak at summits. I'm looking to speak on podcasts. I will say I'm looking to meet others who do business with business owners, like social media people, digital marketers, And you know what? If you will ask for what you need, that people will respond. And when you are specific and say, connect at my calendar link, I'll wake up in the morning and have new appointments. It's a beautiful thing, right? So I think it's not just about, we have to watch our lighting, we have to watch our mic, but you know what? Do not be afraid to go jump on a meeting. That's something that can be figured out. Sure. And I don't want to assume that like people need to be told like don't walk around. I think that your audience is savvier than that, right? We want to show up and be present on screen. And if you decide you want your Supergirl cape in the back, or like, look at Darren's awesome art in the back here of what he has. That is your gallery, not a green screen, right? This is your real art gallery. Everyone's, it's amazing that a lot of people have the green screens, and so you can't. So I'd be like, is that a green screen? But just show up, be you, be present. I'm always taking notes. I always have, you don't see all the paper and the pen here, so that I can have notes of who I chat with, what we chatted about. But the thing about this is you can be on multiple meetings a day, travel the world, if you will, make huge connections, and just really forge forward.
That's so true. And one thing you brought up was preparation. And I really think that's something to hit home about, is that you have to be prepared for any meeting, and in particular a virtual meeting, because a virtual meeting, you have a few minutes to really put your best foot forward, to show people who you are, and you have to at least have a little 30-second commercial or spiel prepared. practice a little bit before you know what you're going to say. And as you
Yes.
say, be quite specific about what you're asking for, because a lot of people get on there and they're a little bit vague, and people can't really help you and connect with you if they don't really know what you want.
It's so true.
So
It's so
really,
true.
preparation is so important with any meeting, but with a virtual meeting, even more so potentially, because everybody's eyes on you and you've only got a short period of time, and you really have to make sure that you get your message across with strength and positioning yourself as a leader in your field,
Yes.
because you want to attract people to you. You want to attract
Yes.
people to you, so you really got to be prepared. And so a lot of people, I think that's something that, people should always remember is prepare for the meeting. If there's any questions beforehand, get them
Yes.
before and know what they're going to ask.
And it's not like you can't, if you have your camera, right? It's not like you can't actually even have your commercial written and have it here so that you can like glance at it, right? Be prepared. I always say, be prepared, have notes written, don't wing it. Winging it will get you wing it results, right? And my big theme is the big ask, ask, right? Just throw it out there. You don't know, but you'll never get it if you don't ask.
Yeah, if you don't ask, you don't get. That's the famous expression.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
That's amazing, Terilee. And so if people want to get involved with Team Referral Network and with you, how do they do that?
I want to invite people that if you thought that my jacket was cool and you loved what I had to say, and to come and join our free Facebook group at virtualnetworking.group. That's virtualnetworking.group. Perfect. You're going to come in and I'll know, you can say, found you on Darren's podcast on suspended animation, and we will wholeheartedly welcome you, and you can come in and start meeting some of the awesome people that we're meeting from around the world, and our events are in there. That way you can just come in and say hello and get a feel for what's happening. And we'd love to welcome your people, Darren.
Awesome. And are you happy for them to connect with you on LinkedIn as well, person to person?
Please connect with me on LinkedIn and tell me you heard me here. Absolutely. Yes, my new best friend, LinkedIn.
Fantastic. And I'll put all those details and links and everything in the show notes for everybody. But before we finish up, have you got one or two little takeaways for people that are looking to get into virtual networking, maybe how they should choose a virtual networking group, what they should, anything like that?
Yes, I would love to. There are so many kinds of virtual networking groups out there, just like face-to-face, and you're going to find there's like the monthly groups. You're going to find there might be like a one-off event, like a mixer or speed networking. There will be those that have speakers. There will be those who are like team referral and have like the weekly referral groups. Yep. And what I want to encourage you to do is visit. I want to encourage you to really get a feel for, how do I feel when I'm with these people? How do I feel about this program? Is this for me? And do not overjoin. It doesn't do anybody any good to overjoin too many organizations. Yep. What does us well is when we can dive into the few that we know that we can be active in, and stay there and plant ourselves there and build relationships. I have to tell you, Darren, even I myself am joining several organizations now, because even those growing a global network need to network themselves. And I need to sit back sometimes and like attend a meeting and not just be all running it, right? That's right. I need that too. So I'm doing the very same thing. So take a look. Shop around. You'll know what feels good and what doesn't, and when they do, please dive in and enjoy. And I wish you all the success in the world.
Oh, fantastic! And I really agree with that. I mean, I like to be part of at least 2 networking groups, because sometimes as you say, you got to build those relationships, you got to work those groups. But it's nice to have a bit of variety, because some networking groups give you access to people that are in different parts of the world, different industries. You just never know. So I think it's great to have at least 2. So why not check out Team Referral Network as one of your virtual networking platforms?
Well, thank you so much for having me today. It's an honor to be here.
Terilee, it's an absolute pleasure. So thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge and passion for virtual networking. And I'm going to hold you to this. You're going to come back in the next 2-3 months and let us know what's transpired with everything.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's talk about the journey, because people will go back to face-to-face. Okay, we're going to go back and start going back into the way the new way things are. And yes,
Yeah.
let's talk about the journey. I would love that.
Awesome. So thanks again, Terilee, and for everybody out there. I hope you had a great time on this episode, and we're going to be back probably tomorrow, I think, for many more. But thank you again, and we'll see you very, very soon.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Darren.
Thanks, Terilee.